In color, the continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Ryan O'Neal as Rodney Harrington, Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson, Tim O'Connor as Elliot Carson, Christopher Connolly as Norman Harrington, Patricia Morrow as Rita Harrington, James Douglas as Stephen Cord.
Hannah Cord is leaving town. The woman who posed for 28 years as the mother of Stephen Cord has revealed that Catherine Peyton was Stephen's mother. Now she must set her house in order. She has seen Stephen probably for the last time in her life and realized he could not control his hatred of her. Thus, the one deeply felt experience in her life, her relationship with Stephen, is at an end. There is very little left for Hannah Cord to do.
Is everything ready?
Yes, ma'am. Everything's been loaded into the car. I'll tell Thomas you're here.
Thank you. Oh, and, Mr. Peyton.
He said he didn't want to be disturbed.
Of course. Tell Thomas I'll be right out.
Yes, ma'am. Goodbye, Mrs. Cord.
Goodbye.
Yes, sir. We're going to have snow by tomorrow. I can smell it in the air.
It says here slightly cooler and temperatures in the lower 30s.
You'll be shoveling snow by tomorrow night. You mark my words.
I'm rooting for the weatherman.
I remember back on the farm waking up to the first winter snow.
Yeah, it gives things a kind of magic, doesn't it?
Not for me. I hated it because the plumbing always burst, and worse than that, I used to be cooped up with my aunt and uncle. You don't know how long a winter can be.
Well, I guess I have some idea.
You know, you were right about this. Poor Richard is like the Farmer's Almanac, except that I think this Benjamin Franklin kind of copied their way of writing.
I'm afraid old Ben was first. You see, he goes way back before Revolutionary days.
Well, he certainly did know a lot for his time.
Yeah, you can borrow that book if you'd like.
Could I?
Just so long as you take good care of it.
Oh, I will. Thank you, Mr. Carson.
Well, I'll go tend to the chocolate, I promise you. Oh, you kids, help yourself to the apple barrel. That's the best crop of Jonathans we've had in years.
Catch! He was right. Let's see. The apples were all tucked away, boxes upon boxes in the storage. where they have been kept until the price of apples has fallen and Daddy has guessed wrong again.
Huh?
The Farmer's Almanac, November 1956. Aren't you gonna eat your apple?
Oh, sure. It's just weird the way you know all this stuff.
What's weird about it?
Oh, it's the idea of you reading it over and over until you remember every word.
I don't have to read it over and over. I learn very quickly, practically just by looking at it.
Well, it's still weird.
Why?
Well, most girls aren't interested.
You mean most girls are more interested in thinking about boys?
Yeah, sort of.
Well, I don't have any boys to think about.
So you'd rather read the beginnings of biology?
Mm-hmm.
Look at here. Unicellular life form. Paramecium.
Paramecium.
Yeah. Kind of looks like one of my tennis shoes. The only thing is, this has more advantage over any tennis shoes I've ever had. Let's see. Say you lose one of these.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the other one will split in two, and you're right back in business again.
You mean it's...
Yeah.
And it's alive?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you live and learn.
It should have snowed by now.
Yes?
Late winters annoy me. I don't know why.
Stephen, I told your mother. I told Mrs. Cord that you wouldn't take the money for the house.
I'm sure you did. But she knows how to insist, doesn't she?
She said even though she isn't your mother, you'd always be her son.
She just can't help adding insult to injury over and over again. She is fantastic.
Well, what if she's already gone? She said her plane was leaving tonight.
Well, then we'll find out where she went and we'll mail it to her.
She talked about you.
Oh, Mrs. Cord is proud of her little boy.
She seemed so organized.
I can imagine.
As if she put everything behind her.
She was savoring her misery, Betty.
Well, she told me she'd sold the house just like that. Then she handed me the check, the full amount of the sale. Stephen, I'm afraid I didn't know how to handle it.
We're handling it now. We're going to give it back to her. We're not in the business of accepting favors from Mrs. Cord.
Go to the place across the street. Call the fire department, then call Ross.
Stephen! Don't go in there!
Peyton! Mother! Mother! Do as I say. Mother! Peyton!
Man. Come on, old man. He's breathing. He's breathing. He's breathing.
Oh, Stephen, no! Mr. Peyton, is there anyone else in the house now? Is Hannah in the house? Please tell me.
Gone. They're gone.
Stephen! Where are you? Stephen, no one's inside
Rossi?
I called the hospital. Dr. Rossi's left town.
What?